Good. The squirrel's going right now. All right. It'll come on. It will be on before it shows that we're actually on, but that's okay. There we are. Yeah, let's make sure that we're on there. There we are. Get that down. Okay, take that off. And let's record this to the cloud. All right. Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, but it's not Whiskey Wednesday. So don't say it. It's actually Whiskey Wednesday gone wild. Oh. With now with added with rum. David Avery's here with us today. They lent him to us. They said, "You want to learn about rum? We're going to give you David."
Here I am.
And here he is. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Very excited.
We're gonna go with it and just see how it goes. All right. So we like to mix these in. Next week, of course, is Go Whiskey Week. If you haven't signed up for anything like that, go to juliosliquors.com and look at all the events. There's events from Monday to Sunday and everything in between. Some of them are sold out already, but check it out. So I figured I was talking with Tony, and we decided that, look, we're gonna go full bore whiskey for 1 week. So we should probably do something else for Whiskey Wednesday the week before. And here we are. So, all right. So this is Caribbean rum, and this is 10-1.
Correct.
Explain, first of all, what every Caribbean rum has like these very traditional sort of names and stuff like that. And also I'm reading like 10-1. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? How does that go? So give us a little background on the company itself and what they sort of do.
Yeah, I'll give you, to talk about the company, we have to talk about our founder, Mark Farrell. He's originally from Trinidad, came up here, went to school in Boston, went to MIT when he was 16, and then went on to Harvard Business School, went on to become the youngest executive in the history of Starbucks. And in the course of his corporate life, really decided that he wanted to get back to his roots, get back to the Caribbean culture, and get back to some of the traditions that he grew up with. So he founded 10-1. And that name comes from that same similar mindset of staying, keeping with the roots. When the initial Caribbean nations got their independence from the colonial powers, they created the Caribbean Federation. And the president of Trinidad was elected to be the president of that federation and gave a famous speech in which he said, and I'm paraphrasing here, he's far more eloquent than I am, but basically that if you take 1 from 10, that we're nothing, that we're stronger together, that we have to create something together to maintain our identity and our traditions and keep each other safe in these turbulent times. So 10-1 became the name of our rum and became kind of our philosophy as well of staying.
Almost a battle cry.
Yeah, community minded and making sure that we are working with each other and making sure that we're lifting each other up.
Oh, good. I like that one. So he decided he had a lot of money and he wanted to make a little. So he went into the rum business.
It's a great way to lose your money.
Yes, exactly. You got to be passionate about some of this stuff because, there isn't, contrary to popular belief, there's not, it's not a highly lucrative endeavor in a lot of words. You really have to be, you have to be really dedicated to it.
And he really is. He's very passionate about it. On our website, you can see videos of him tasting through the rums. So if you taste some today and you think, I could use a little bit more guidance, you can go on and watch the videos. And he really just has an excellent palate. He's one of the people that blends the rums as well, that chooses those blends. So really you can see both in the way that the company is run and also in the liquid itself, his real passion for it.
Now we have a nice group here, about 20 or so people. Has anybody ever had 10-1? Just curious. No, you're going to be talking to a whole group of newbies tonight.
This is fantastic.
This is what
Thanks
you want.
for coming out, guys.
Yeah. So, all right. So before they do get restless, because they will get restless, we should probably start at the beginning and let's start tasting some rum, but maybe tell us a little bit about it as we go along.
Yeah, absolutely. So another one of our core philosophies is transparency. So we source from a variety of rum producing nations. We work with a lot of well-known rum producing companies, distilleries, and we're very clear about that. We're not hiding it. We're not just saying, oh, we sourced our rum from somewhere. Making sure that we're staying additive free, making sure that we are staying, no coloring, no dosage of sugar, anything that other rum companies like to do. And sometimes that works for the style of rum, but with us, we're trying to make what's a very pure Caribbean
So you're really a blending house.
Yeah. Yeah, and very much trying to stay true to the flavors of each of those individual islands and make sure that they shine through as well. So we'll start you guys with the white rum. This one is 4 different rums in the bottle. We're working with 3 different distilleries from Jamaica and 1 distillery from the Dominican Republic. So those 3 distilleries from Jamaica are Hampton, Monty Musk, and Worthy Park. And then from the Dominican Republic, we have Alcoholes Fines Dominicanos, and they do a lot of very sustainably focused contract brewing and contact distilling for other rum producers to make sure that they get something to kind of, the Jamaican rum can get a little funky, right? You guys get that
There's a
sip.
little funk in this. There's still a little funk in this. There's a
Mhm.
little almost agricole, little funkiness going on to it.
Yeah, it's got some beautiful grassy notes. I'm working with one beverage director who he's going to put it into a caipirinha, which is typically a cocktail made with cachaça, kind of carrying those vegetal notes over with the rum. I also get a lot of tropical fruit on the white.
Tasting it, that definitely starts popping, even to like a pineapple and papaya. Get some of that in there too, which is really cool.
I always say banana runts is what I get. That old candy.
The little candy.
Yeah.
The one that's not quite banana flavored.
Yeah. It's yellow flavored. Yeah.
What is it? Say that again. I love when people start arguing about candy. It's a different species of banana. Okay, it was designed. A banana runts was designed to taste like a different species of banana. Oh, okay. Well, I'm getting some banana history over here.
I love this.
I like it. I like it. It's very good. Yeah. It shows. So a lot of evenings on Wikipedia. I'm like, yeah, that'll do it. Does it taste anything like circus peanuts? What? For shame on you. It tastes like bananas and vanilla. The regular bananas, not your fancy bananas. Just the regular ones. Okay. I know we have officially. You know what? It's weird when it's gone wild. Usually if it's whiskey, it takes us a little bit to go off the rails. When it's rum, we immediately off the rails, straight off the rails, which is different. Well, first of all, what do you got? What do you guys all think of the white rum? It's really good, right? Now, because I know like everybody, like I love that smell of the nose of this. It's really cool, but that's not for everybody. That throws it off. It's a very specific. It's not quite rum. It's the funk. It's not really rum agricole. Rum agricole. So to me, tastes like when you open a bottle, a can of black olives. It always gets that same sort of. This is more of the funk than that. But
and that's very Jamaican.
It's very Jamaican. That's right. This doesn't have none of these. Do they have one of those pits there? Any of these rums?
Not the nasty ones.
Not the nasty pits.
Read about on things like Wikipedia.
Did you read about that on Wikipedia? No, she's not paying attention now. She go, what? Yeah, 8 different. He's right. Hamden does make 8 different marks. So depending on which one they used, it could have that. What's it called though? It's the pit.
The Dunder Pit.
Dunder Pit.
But that funk is very typical of Jamaican rum and really important to us to make sure that carries through really throughout the lineup. We use that same.
I think the palate and the finish are very different than that though. Like when you drink it, it's not quite. I don't think it's quite what you expected when you smell it. Right? Do you guys agree with that? You can disagree. You'll be wrong, but you can disagree. It's all right. I like that one. That's, and I can see doing something that's got a campaña or even a mojito where it'll be like that will still sort of shine through.
Yeah, we keep it at 45%. We could go down to 40. We could probably make a better margin, put a little more water into the product, but we want that flavor to really punch. And especially with what Mark's trying to do, one of our taglines is rum reimagined, and really trying to get people, especially with something like the white rum, where a lot of white rums can be vodka adjacent.
Right.
They can be a little light. They can be something, you mix with a tall glass of Coca-Cola and off you go. We call
those alcohol delivery systems.
Yeah, the old ADS. Yeah, sure. With us, we really want, we had this one restaurant in Boston that was using one of our cocktails, and we noticed they hadn't ordered in about a month. And so I said, oh, let me go in and make sure they're still see how we're doing. And I popped in and I ordered the cocktail that was on with, they don't name the brands. I took one sip and immediately I said, this is 10 to 1. I said, I know that this is the white rum because that flavor really does just carry through nicely.
Right. Yeah. There's no hiding it.
No.
All right. Very good. Very different. Very nice. It's a little refreshing too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That brightness,
Yeah, the brightness
it's cold
definitely
out
goes
there.
through.
We should
Yeah.
all feel like we're back on the island a little bit,
Please keep your shirt on, sir. We're okay. Pretend he's saying pretend we're on the island, not that you're actually there. All right. So what's the second one we got up in the lineup tonight?
The second one was our first entry into the market. So this is our dark rum. This was the first one that we wanted to put together. We still have 4 rums, but we're working with 4 different islands with this rum. So whereas with the white, it was 3 different rums from Jamaica, all pot still, by the way, and then we use a column still from the Dominican Republic. With the dark, we're working with 4 different islands. We're working with Trinidad, so we're working with Angostura Distillery out of Trinidad. We're working with Foursquare from Barbados. Alcoholes Finos Dominicanos again from the Dominican Republic, and with the dark, we just work with Worthy Park from Jamaica. Those first 3 are all aged in ex-bourbon barrels for right about 8 years, give or take. And then the white we actually keep unaged. We want that, again, we want that nice Jamaican flavor. We want that hogo, right, that funk to really come through.
Now you say you're using Foursquare in this.
Correct.
Yeah. Was that a he's still is very protective of his rum, the reputation and stuff, which rightfully so he should be.
It's a big name.
So I mean, but I think that's goes to probably says more about what you're doing that he would let his rum go to that too.
I think so. I think the intentionality that Mark brings to rum blending and rum representation as well, just trying to make people appreciate it the way that they do in the Caribbean more. Of this is something that can be refined. This is something that can be elevated. We can sip on it. Even the white, I'll drink a little bit of the white on the rocks. To me, it drinks like an agave spirit.
Right.
It's got that kind of
yeah.
flavorful punch. But I can imagine, I wasn't with the company when they were having those conversations, and I'm not as close to Mark as other members of the company.
Yeah.
But I can imagine that there was a trust there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Say, you're going to do it right. So
absolutely,
let's go ahead.
I like this one a lot. This is a sipping rum. This is like something you just put in a glass and enjoy on its own. Don't nothing else needed.
Yeah. What I like about this is we're not trying to make bourbon rum. You get those bourbon backbones, and this is a whiskey crowd, so I'm sure you're picking up that oak and the various flavors that oak gives you, but really making sure that the rum itself shines. That we want to make sure that flavor of those islands is there.
No, the flavor definitely. I mean, this is a what we've considered a brown good, but it's not. There's a definite delineation between the two. One is not the other, and in a good way. It's not supposed to be.
No,
I mean the fact that you're using, but the fact that are you using mostly when you're doing this? Are you using used barrels? But are you using barrels that are pretty much neutral at this point?
I think you still get a little bit of the extraction. With ex-bourbon barrels, they're single fill.
Right, exactly.
So I'm not.
But some places are. This is the thing. Some places are looking for that extraction of the bourbon out of the wood, and then other places are not. They don't want that, but it's a nice vessel because you can get them for relatively cheaper than a lot of the other barrels that you could get. But they want them more of that neutral and let the product, so to speak, for it.
Yeah, I would definitely say the latter. And in that, it's very in keeping with our, sustainability mindset as well. Is, the places that rum is made, especially in these islands, you want to make sure you're paying attention to sustainability. It's very easy to run out of resources.
Right.
So using something like an ex-bourbon barrel, which there are plenty of in the market.
Right.
They only use them once and then they ship them off to tequila, and you've probably
they're all over around the world.
Couple hundred
they're all around
products here in the store.
They're all around the world for that exact reason.
Which I think is cool. I think it's fun to bring that flavor around, but definitely wanted to make sure, we get that oak, but really trying to make a rum-centric blend there.
Yeah, let the distillate sort of speak for itself.
Yeah, especially with the quality of the spirits that we're working with, the houses that we're sourcing from.
Are you doing the blend of the rums first and then putting them in the oak, or are you doing it taking all the different components and then blending them after they're been stored in the barrel? If I think I'm right on that, right?
I'm pretty sure after their individual age.
Okay.
So they'll get right around to that 8 years, and that's just where we like with the Caribbean aging. That's a nice level, and then bring them together in the proportions that we need. And our blending team is fantastic.
What do you how is it down in the Caribbean? What's your angel share like, and do you lose a lot?
You can lose a lot. You can lose up to 50%. I
Okay.
think right after 10 or 12 years, I remember I was working for, I haven't had a chance to view any of our production facilities yet. Hopefully if I sell some cases, they'll send me down there. But I was working for another company and they actually had a lineup. This was down in Jamaica of the barrels and showing how much is lost over a period of time. And it goes fast. But after right about 10 years, I'd say you have about 50% gone.
Well, that's the thing is, but we talk up here, I for most distilleries up here, although no one will believe me, 7 to 10 years is actually really good aging for, let's say, a bourbon
Hmm.
here. But when you're talking about you're using like around 8, that's a good amount of time to spend in the barrel, especially down in the Caribbean,
Hmm.
because it's you're not cheating time. It gets more concentrated quickly. You're not cheating time. It's just aging differently.
Yeah. And that's a good way to put it because you don't get the expansion and the complete contraction that you would in a place like Kentucky where
Right.
you get a hot day and then it might still get a little chilly at night that it's warmer all around.
All around. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the dark? Huh? Like it?
That's four different
There's four
rums.
rums in this one.
So that's Trinidad, Barbados, the Dominican Republic, and Jamaica.
Do you have the proportions of what
No,
it
they keep
uses?
that under wraps. They like to
Yeah.
keep that part of the secret.
They would probably vary from batch to batch because they're
Yeah.
trying to make this flavor all the time.
Yeah,
So
what they
sometimes
want
it's
is
going to just change. It's going to change up the proportions to get it to taste like this as close as they can every time. That makes sense?
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, what we're going for is consistency in the bottle, and we'll come out every once in a while with an individual expression. In a couple of weeks, we've got an 18-year hitting the market, which is really quite nice. But for these, the white, the dark,
The
and
first
the
two
five
is
origin
right, that's
are our
supposed to be.
flagships.
Right.
So they'll be out all the time. So we want to make sure that those flavors are consistent across the board.
So when you go to reach for it on the shelf, you already know what the answer is.
Yeah,
That's going to taste this way.
yeah, and it's a fun answer. There's
Right.
a lot going on in that bottle.
Right. I like this one a lot. It's really cool.
This one's fun. When I do tastings in stores or when I'm presenting to people, there's always a favorite between the white and the dark, and I haven't figured out which personality types like the white more or the dark more, but they always come down on one side or the other.
That's good. All right. Well, let's do that now because why not?
Yeah.
Who likes the white better? Who likes the dark better?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, you get a lot of whiskey drinkers,
Yeah.
and they're going to go for the darker one. But the white lost out. But I think you're right, Megazone. It's when what you're using it to do.
Mhm.
Like if I was making cocktails, a lot more cocktails, I'd be using the white because I'm looking for that flavor also in the cocktail too. Although there's a couple cocktails that I could definitely think of off the top of my head that I could use the dark with too. Yeah. Yeah,
Exactly.
they're using it does depend on what you're going to be using it for.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I'll do like a nice Negroni even with the dark rum, just to bring a little change of pace to the typical gin or bourbon.
Yeah, a
or
little
something
little
like that.
different flair on the
Yeah,
Negroni,
they
right?
call it the Kingston Negroni. Yeah.
The Kingston Negroni. Everybody's got a name for something. Right? All right. Well, let's now the next one is these are sort of like more like one-offs type things.
Yeah, this was when we came out with, we launched this a couple years ago. This was our Black History Month edition. And just a way for us to kind of, again, put our money where our mouth is as far as community and representation and that sort of thing. So this was launched. The artist is Devin B. Johnson. The piece is called Inner Glow and really just wanted to show kind of a representation of Black beauty on a box and on a bottle. And I think really did so. It's a similar blend to the dark. We bring the percentage up. So we go from 40 to 43. We really want to bring some of that flavor up, but also just make it a little deeper and a little more complex. This brand itself is one of the first Black-owned rum brands in existence, which being only 5 years old should tell you something about the state of the rum industry in general. So always trying to kind of keep that in forefront and make sure that we are, paying attention to where we came from and what we're up to.
Now, are you gonna continue this sort of trend? Because it's got a piece of artwork on it. That's really cool, by the way. And Black History Month is the artist edition. Are you gonna is it gonna be different artist editions, or is it gonna be different Black History Month artist editions.
I can see us doing, and I'm not on the creative team, so
Yeah,
I
no,
can't
it
speak
was
to
just
what we're up
happening,
to,
right?
but I could see them doing a few more, artist collaborations or even musical
Yeah,
collaborations. One of our founders, one of our main investors is Ciara, which is a lot of fun, the R&B artist. So I could see us doing some kind of musical collaboration down
that's
the line
nice.
as well.
It's really nice. The packaging on it's really cool, and it carries over to the label too, right?
hmm Yeah, it's
So
on that label as
it's
well.
on the
It's a
label too.
striking
It's
label.
just a very striking label. I like it a lot. It's really cool looking. And what did you say the ABV was on this one?
Brought it up to 43,
43.
unless I'm incorrect.
I didn't
Hey,
check when I did.
hey, we're right again today. Every once in a while.
Call the newspaper. All right. So this one, now it's definitely different on the nose on this. You're almost smelling like a more almost a richer sort
Mhm.
of nose to this one.
Yeah, I think that little percentage and whatever tweak they might have made to the blend is really, to me, it really punches up a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
I actually get a lot more.
Same for
Yeah, the same four origins.
origins, not the same for rums, but the same for origins of rum. Really nice. Yeah, you get there is a little bit more funk to this one
hmm
that comes out.
Yeah, I get the oak a lot more on this one. I get
And the
more
oak.
wood.
Yeah, and those deeper, richer flavors definitely come through. And it's not all just ABV.
No, no,
No,
and that's what
there's
I
other
like
stuff
about
going
it.
on there.
This one and the white as well, they're a little punchy. When we get to the 5 origin, that one's up to 46. But it's not just the burn, like you were saying. It's not just the alcohol. You know that
Right.
you're drinking strong rum, but the flavors are so rich and complex. It's like,
The finish on it's super long.
this was an
Runs right down the middle of your tongue too, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a flavor analogy similar to when I worked for a different product line, which is the difference between steaming a chicken and roasting a chicken in the oven with all the herbs and everything.
Right.
It's the same idea product, but you're going to end up with a vastly different flavor
We
profile.
call it a thinking person's beverage.
Yeah.
There's more. There's the surface, but there's a lot more going on underneath it.
hmm And with these, if you spend a little time with them, you put them in a Glencairn glass and really sit there. And that's what, when I started working for the company, before I even kicked off, I went and I got a bottle and I said, I just need to figure out what this is all about. And, asked around town, I said, what are they up to here? And I took a couple sips and I said, man, this is good. This is good juice.
Yeah, I think it's not unknown, but I don't think it's been sort of brought into like the mainstream. I don't think this is not a brand yet
hmm
that's at like the everybody's lips.
We're hoping we can
It's
change that.
no, same,
eventually.
but I
Yeah.
think that's the whole point is that you liquid to lips,
hmm
tasting people on it, doing what we're doing tonight
Yep.
can open a lot of eyes into something that maybe they don't, not even on the shelf to have passed by on the shelf.
And that's what we're hoping for. And the buzz has been great. The feedback has been great. You guys have all tasted the liquid. I mean, if you tried this in a store, you'd go, "Oh, that's pretty good." Maybe I'll pick up a bottle. And that's really been people that tried. In the on-premise, they love just kind of the cleanliness. The lack of additives, the clean, crisp
Right.
flavor that we've got. It works great in cocktails. The story is fantastic.
Well, it's also very transparent.
Yeah, yeah, and
And I think
that's
people like
important to
that. I think
that
a
are
lot of
running.
people like that. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't really matter to me. Just let me know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
Put whatever
Yeah.
you want in the
Right.
bottle, but just don't pretend you didn't.
Right.
But
Exactly.
with us, we didn't actually, and it's just good, clean juice. But it's been fun so far working for them. I haven't been with them for quite a year yet, but looking at the company and the way that they're approaching the market and growing the brand, that people get excited about it. And Boston is a growing market. Massachusetts is a growing market. This is the only state in New England we're in so far. So hopefully we can
Oh, really?
show them that we can drink rum here in New England, and we'll keep
At
growing.
one point, really, Massachusetts was the epicenter of rum.
That's right. Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that is that we have a long tradition of rum here in Massachusetts, in New England.
And we're trying to get people
What's
to
that?
remember that.
Well, we get the molasses. Yes, we do have the molasses flood in the north end. That is true.
Still smell it on a hot day.
Yeah, on a hot day. On a hot day, if you're working, I go, is that what that smell is? And,
Yeah,
and my wife
something
goes,
sweet.
no, that's not what it is. But anyways, it's a hot day in Boston, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you're right, and this was one of those we do have this long tradition with rum,
Mm-hmm.
and what it's really weird is it's gonna sort of happen. And I think it's happening on a slow simmer rather than a fast burn. As we keep talking about in the industry, it's like, oh, it's rum's turn.
Yeah.
It's rum's turn, and it's been rum's turn for a while. But I don't think what people understand is it's been a slow build, and rum is doing way better than it used to. In product knowledge by consumers has increased over the years, and that return to quality in rums, and it's just not like let's knock it back with a Coke.
Right.
Let's not throw a ton of seasonings in it, basically, whatever you want to call it.
And fewer pirates and sea monsters.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Well, there's always room for pirates and sea monsters.
I suppose.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not talk crazy here.
But yeah, no, you're correct. And people are becoming more informed. And in general, the person that's drinking a product like a refined rum or a good whiskey tends to be that curious mind, and they want to know where it's made and what it's from and what the story is behind it. And people are looking to rum now as something that they can ask those questions of. Right. Whereas before it was, just get a handle of whatever and we'll mix it with the coconut.
Get the captain and throw it in with some cola.
Yeah.
We're ready to go, ready to party.
And now they come and they say, oh, what would I do this with? Because I don't want to just mix it with Coke. And it's great in a daiquiri. On some of the islands, they just mix it with coconut water, and it's delicious. Your typical stirred cocktails with the aged ones, your Manhattans or Negronis or variations there. But
no, rum is a versatile spirit. So, and I don't think everybody realizes that, because a lot of times, like you said, you have them mixed in with all these other flavors and spices.
Yeah.
That you don't realize it can go with a lot of things.
Yeah, you can get a lot of great flavor just from that distillate and a little aging.
All right, the last rum that we have this evening.
Yes.
Is also part of the core lineup. This is available all the time?
All the time. This was brand new last year.
This was like originally I could only get the white and the dark. And now all of a sudden I have 4 on the shelf, which is
lovely.
Which is great.
We love to see it.
That's right.
And this one was to celebrate 5 years as a business. So they wanted to do something with 5 as part of the construction in the name. So we came out with our 5 origin. This is the same 4 origins as these 2 dark rums that we had already, but we bring in a Guyanese rum. So with this, we're working with the Port Mourant wooden pot still. This is an.
You get it. This is a Versailles still, a wooden still.
Yes,
a wooden still, right?
Yeah.
So this is very different. Not a lot of people. They don't last. There's only a few period that use them, and I think most of them are on Guyana?
Almost all of them are in this distillery that we get our rum from. They have a variety. I want to say they have 4 or 5, but don't quote me on that exact number. But I didn't even know they had multiples until I started working for this company, and I found out, one, that wooden pot stills were a thing at one point. But then I went to a friend of mine who's a deep dive rum guy, and I said, oh, it's with this Guyanese wooden pot still rum, and he just says, which wooden pot still? And I go, oh man, now I get to know more than one. Yeah, but it's the Port Mourant wooden pot still. It's a very old piece of equipment, and it makes this really unique and flavorful spirit that is pretty rare and is fun for us to be able to work with. So we brought that in. It's a way to bring some complexity into the rum that isn't just relying on over aging. We were talking about the rapidity of aging in the Caribbean, and you really just, there's a fine line to walk before all of a sudden you're extracting too much. So wanted to bring something in that would bring some elegance and bring some complexity, but without dialing up that age presence, out that oak presence. So that wooden pot still Guyanese rum really just, I think, brings it to a level that I had never tasted a rum like this before.
Talking about having spices, the finish on this to me all of a sudden starts screaming like cinnamon.
Interesting.
Like at the very end of this, it just gives that same sort of feeling. It's very different. I mean, and talk about celebrating the 10 to 1, the different flavors is bringing in something like a wooden pot still into the mix of a blending house, say the least. Really, really sort of it's innovative in an original type of way.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
You know what I'm saying?
It's super creative.
It's super creative using old technology.
Yeah. Here's this, this thing that's been around for an incredibly long time that might even be not in existence after a while. These are not, they're made out of wood. They just only have so much longevity in them before they go. And just a kind of a special thing to be able to do. So that's our 5 origin, and that'll be, as long as we can get that rum from Guyana, we're going to keep that going on. Yeah.
What do you guys think of this? Very like a little different though, right? In a good way, not
Mhm.
different in a bad way, and different in a good way. Really cool. There's some great flavors going on in there. What was the ABV on this one?
This one is 46%.
Okay, nice. All of them are very drinkable at their bottle strength.
Hmm.
But I'll have enough to be able to mix and still get the flavors across
Yeah, I
without
would say.
getting lost in a drink, but not overly so proofed
Hmm.
that the alcohol is all encompassing.
Yeah, well said. I mean, they're really trying to strike that balance. And with a company like ours, with a brand like ours in a category like rum, you can't scare people off too
That's
quickly.
right.
You got to bring them in. You got to say, hey, this is, it's a little hot, but it's delicious. Come on in, try it. Here's some
This last
cocktails.
one especially, I think, is a very balanced rum.
Hmm. Yeah, this
You
one on
guys
its
get a lot
own.
of balance in that. Yeah.
I always say, when I'm doing like a store tasting or something like that, that the white rum appeals more to our, your agave spirit drinkers. The
Right.
dark is a little bit more towards the whiskey, the bourbon drinkers specifically. And then with the Five Origin, we get a little bit of Scotch complexity. I think we bring in some of that, some of those other notes that are coming from ethereal places,
Right.
bringing that in.
When they each what's sort of different, which is really cool because since you're blending it, each of these places you're bringing from has their own philosophy of how they're, cutting heads and tails, how they're storing stuff and how they're doing things. And it's sort of neat to be able to like be that person that, has this palette of paint.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to create something totally new from these finished products. They're not even raw products, these
Right.
finished products, and create something else that tastes maybe even different than what we started with.
Mm-hmm. And that's, you really walked me right into it, which is the concept of, being greater than the sum of our parts, which is part of the whole
Yeah.
10-to-1 philosophy is, look, we can take something that any of our individual constituent rums you could drink on their own. They're something like Foursquare, Angostura, AFD.
Yeah, these are no slouches.
These are serious people making serious rum. But somehow they take these complex, things with a lot of history and somehow bring them together and create this brand new product that's unlike anything else, and that's really the fun part of the rum world and the fun part of what we're up to.
Really cool, David. I want to thank you very much for showing this. What did you guys think? Did you like these? Something totally new,
Good
right?
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is
Thank
great.
you so much. You stay right there. You guys stay right here. I'm going to say goodbye to all the people on Facebook. It was really cool. David was great. You really missed some really good tasting rums too. So make sure when you see that we have some bottles open or you get a chance to, please try these 10 to 1 rums. They're really, really good. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.